Do you have Biddy Tarot bookmarked? Do you know some definitions, but combining cards or doing a reading just isn't happening? Do you know the cards are trying to tell you something, but at best you can only get the gist? Consider this. Imagine a world with no tarot definitions, none whatsoever. Do do do. No tarot definitions. The forbidden fruit. I don't want to dwell on this too long, but did you ever think that the tarot definitions are not for you, but for people that know them already? I know this makes no sense, but just entertain the idea for a moment that there is a cabal keeping you from entering the Society of Tarot by blocking the gate with flipping tarot definitions. So, how do you go from a tarot outsider to an esteemed member of quote unquote the society without struggling to memorize someone else's definition of a tarot card? Get ready to turn what you thought about tarot on its head. What follows are some ideas that I will cover in this series designed to deliver you to the island of tarot initiates, those who can pull out their deck and read, definition free, no peeking at the book, no stammering, no confusion, just valuable tarot readings guided by your own intuition. Let's deal with definitions right out of the gate. Learning definitions is putting the cart before the horse. Remember the order of operations in school? I don't want to bring up any math trauma, but sometimes the order in which you do things matter. And in the case of tarot, as I just said, learning definitions first is putting the cart before the horse. Your goal as a beginner is to create a connection with and relationship with the cards using your intuition, not what someone online says the cards mean. The next idea is that your deck may be getting in the way of your being able to read tarot. First off, get a deck with pictures on the minor arcana or numbered cards. See the image on the left? That is not what you want. That is the Eight of Cups, and there are 8 cups and nothing else on the card. That's the Marcel Tarot. That's what I started with. I made it hard for myself. Don't make it hard for yourself. Look at the picture on the right. That's from the Rider-Waite-Smith. There are 8 cups pictured, but they are in a context. They are in a scene. It's kind of like a little comic book frame right there. So maybe in this comic book, the moon is saying something, the man is saying something, the cups are saying something. We don't know. We're going to get into that later. But you need a deck that is set up that way, where it has a context to the card. People say pictures on the number card, but that might be confusing because technically the left is pictures on the card. So anyway, I think you understand what I'm saying. I've got more to show you. Here we have a Seven of Swords and 2 Seven of Cup cards from various decks. The one in the middle, I believe, is the Thelema Tarot. And it's similar to what you see in the Rider-Waite-Smith. But, you know, this scene here might evoke something in you. You might relate to it. Or maybe you like the Seven of Cups on the right better, where the guy, they actually kind of took that cup with the snake and expanded it into the card where the guy is looking and there's cups and he's trying to choose. You know, you be the judge of that. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of decks. I'm sure you can find one that resonates with you and that calls to you and that you're curious about and that lights you up. The example on the far left is the Seven of Swords. There is a black-footed ferret in a prairie dog hole with 7 swords. If you are a nature lover, you might know that black-footed ferrets take over prairie dog holes and live in them. And so that's kind of gives you some context to what this Seven of Swords might mean. But if you're not a nature lover and you're not into black-footed ferrets, that might not be the deck for you. So I've got one more example here. This is the deck that I created that is free to download on my website. I used modern people in modern settings with a goal to make a set of images that people could easily relate to. So if your deck is not speaking to you, if you're not able to sink your teeth into your deck, get a new deck. Just do it. Just get a new deck. All right, now let's talk about the oracle. Okay, so tarot is an oracle. I Ching is an oracle. There's astrology is an oracle. There's all different kinds of oracles. So first of all, you need to approach the oracle with respect. And by that, I mean that you have a respectful tone to you when you come to read the oracle or to ask the oracle questions. So you don't need to go overboard with offering incense candles, but you need to be serious and respectful when you engage the oracle. This is not a game. This is not a toy. This is not AI. It's, this is a human. It's as old as humans, if not older, experience. So garbage in, garbage out. I'm sure you've heard that. So if you ask a silly question, you'll get a silly answer. If you're jacking around with the oracle, it will jack around with you. So that's just a warning. Now, in later videos in the series, we'll discuss how to craft questions that give clear answers, what to do about yes and no questions, because that's all part of it. It's about how good of a question you ask is how good of an answer you'll get. And we'll also talk about structuring a spread so that you get a very clear answer, because that's the beauty of tarot as opposed to some other types of oracles, is that you can design the spread however you want. So you can just flat out ask the cards, and then your spread helps structure that answer so that you understand it. But that will be in later videos. But for now, the takeaways are: have a clear question in mind before laying down the cards. Don't just slap down cards and wonder what they mean. Okay, we've all been there. I do it even now sometimes. Like, I'll throw down cards and then I'm like, I don't really know what that means because I wasn't clear with my question. So make sure you have a clear question formulated first. Just don't throw cards and go, what does it mean? I see that all the time with beginners. That's not how it works. Remember, I was talking about the order? Question first, then cards. Okay, say the question out loud. Even if you're by yourself, say the question out loud. You can write it down also. But that serves a couple different purposes. One, speaking is a spell, so you're sending that out to the oracle that's what you want to know when you speak it out loud. And then if you're reading for someone else, it gives them a chance to confirm that that's actually their question and you didn't misunderstand them. Then the last step is to ask yourself, what would a favorable response look like? What would an unfavorable response to this question in this moment in time look like? Now, I know if you're a beginner, that's going to be difficult, but just kind of keep that in the back of your mind, even as a beginner, because that helps you when you actually see the cards be able to clearly understand the answer that is laid before you. As you work with the cards and develop a practice, you will develop a set of tarot correspondences. A correspondence is not a definition. Correspondence is you and the cards in conversation. That's what correspondence is. You write letters back and forth, that's a correspondence. What happens when you connect with the cards through a practice? You use your intuition to get a sense of what the card or cards are trying to tell you. Then you get real world feedback, and then that feedback goes back into that card and your correspondence with that card. And so there's a feedback loop between your intuition and your predictions and real world feedback that goes on and on. And over time, you are corresponding with the cards. You're having a conversation with the cards. Is that not cool? So I hope you see that This is a dynamic process. This is not a static set of definitions. This is not what someone else says the card means. This is a dynamic process of you corresponding with the tarot. So what I'd like to leave you with is this simple 3-step tarot journaling practice, which incorporates what I just discussed about corresponding with the tarot. At the end of the day, ask the cards to describe your day and pull a card. Write down your discoveries in your tarot journal. You're now in correspondence with the cards. So if you do this every day, you start to learn things. The tarot starts talking to you. You start having direct experience that backs up your theories, if you will, or backs up your intuition. And that is a tarot journal practice. So there's more coming. There's more coming in this series. So you can download some free journal pages with a link in the description, and then I'll update you when the next videos in this series are up. And I'll see you in the next video.